वो दिन कितने प्यारे थे, ये दिन भी कितने प्यारे हैं। तब बाबा साथ हमारे थे, तब बाबा साथ हमारे थे। बाबा अब भी साथ हमारे हैं।
आज ये हद का ख्वाब अपनी आदि श्रेष्ठ डायरेक्ट रचना को देख रहे। ब्राह्मण आत्माएं डायरेक्ट शिववंशी ब्रह्मा कुमार और कुमारियां, ब्राह्मण आत्माएं आदि देव की आदि रचना है। इसलिए कल्प वृक्ष में ब्राह्मण फाउंडेशन अर्थात जड़ में दिखाया गया। देखा है ना अपना स्थान, तो वृक्ष में आप आदि रचना बीज के समीप जड़ में दिखाए गए। इसलिए डायरेक्ट रचना अन्य आत्माएं डायरेक्ट माता पिता अर्थात शिव बाप और ब्रह्मा माता अर्थात डायरेक्ट परमात्म रचना नहीं। आप डायरेक्ट माता पिता की रचना हो। आप डायरेक्ट रचना का कितना महत्व हो। डायरेक्ट बीज के साथ संबंध उनका इनडायरेक्ट संबंध है, आपका डायरेक्ट। आप सभी रूहानी नशे से कहेंगे कि हम परमात्म संतान बच्चे, मैं आपके सदा साथ हूँ।
Om Shanti. Maryada Purshottam. Safe from attachment or subservience. Maryada Purshottam is one who keeps himself safe from attachment and subservience to other people and possessions. If you have attachment or are subservient, then instead of being loving to the Father, instead of being an easy yogi, you will have both experiences of sometimes being cooperative and an easy yogi, and sometimes being separated from yoga.
Om Shanti. Welcome to Vikti Parivar. Today is day 11, Maryada Purshottam. Safe from attachment or subservience. Today we will be taking Maryada 6, Inculcating Divinity. Now we will listen to Mohini Didi.
Om Shanti, everyone. Doing well? We're seeing you after 24 hours, but still feels very long, right? So will we call that attachment? Yeah. Do we have attachment with each other? A Vyakti Parivar has attachment? There was a lot of discussion once amongst dadis, because they really care for each other and regularly they will check in. I remember even if like I have been called for a day or two, then dadis say, oh, I was thinking of you. And then she said, is it attachment? She said, this attachment is very useful. This attachment is necessary. So I said, what is the difference? She said, this attachment doesn't interfere in Baba's remembrance. And this attachment gives strength to each other, the feeling of belonging, feeling that we are one family. And so sometimes it's difficult to differentiate between what type of attachment I have. So you cannot just isolate yourself, right? Once Baba asked Darijanki, do you remember students? Dari, how can I do that? How can I remember? She said, but when you think of them, they will get sakash, no? When you think of them, then they will have kind of pull to come to Baba's home. So there is difference between remembering souls or when the thoughts come or necessary thoughts for them also. So then Brahma Baba said, I think of the children and children also think of me. So we will take up this little bit more, but I just want to kind of how do I have intoxication of I am God's direct creation? Everyone else is indirect. How it's visible that they will worship through someone. They call it Isht, their own personal God. They directly, nobody, Baba said, even if they, worship Shiva, but it's through Shankar, because they don't even know who is Shiva. But you children have recognition. And it's very interesting when Baba said, you are direct creation. So we are godly children. Everyone, whole world, all the souls are God's children as souls. But we are not only as souls, but it is also through Brahma Baba. We are Brahma Kumaris in body, right? Yes, soul is child of God. But now in practical life, we are guided by God's teachings, God's discipline. Even whatever we do, whatever we give, Not only that, but now, uh, how many of us have just surrendered to Baba, belonging to Baba? So it's not just soul, but it's in the practical life as a Brahmin. So that's something very intoxicating, and I think we should maintain that awareness a lot. I remember that when I kind of knew that we are souls and all are children of God, and there was such big transformation in relationships. And there was a lot of love. Also, there was a lot of tolerance, but there was no attachment, surprisingly. And that's how many of us, as a young person, we left homes. We left everything because there was love, where we felt a lot of love, good connection, relationship, but not attachment. But one thing I always find, which it's said here too, that if there is attachment, there will be sorrow and your stage will fluctuate. There are so many Baba's children, they write to us, my yoga is not good. I'm not able to have good yoga. My intellect stumbles, but what's the cause? Attachment somewhere, right? So then sometimes you are very cooperative, sometimes your mood is not that. When you hear the story of dadis, some of dadis, they just left, right? They left home without any money, without anything. So this whole commitment, surrender, without any fear. He asked dadis that, didn't you feel who will feed you when you will get sick? What, like a lot of mothers, they only think if I'm sick, where I will go. So they keep attachment with their children, keep pleasing them, just to please keep them happy so that I have a place to stay. But Dadi didn't think that way. I remember that when, as girls in India, they always said, who will feed you? Okay, we got education, we will work for ourselves. Who will feed you? Who will take care of you? Because as girls, it's our social system. There is someone who will earn and then feed you. But I don't know, there was so much intoxication. So who is feeding us now? So when there is really, truly understanding, then you don't have attachment. Now, then you come on the journey, then you meet so many people, and people have a lot of love. So there is always possibility to have your mind like pulled towards some maybe. It's not subservient, but it is more like kind of pull. Jhukav is really internally like, you just pulled by certain souls. No, yes, maybe on the journey this happens, but you have understanding and you have power of yoga. But some not many, these days lot, but in the beginning, some were pulled away because of attachment. They kind of, I can't manage here. They find it difficult. And actually, even they were pointing out difficulties externally, but internally there was attachment. ultimately, no, Baba says, chapter 18th of Gita, that when your awareness becomes complete, you become free from attachment. Because this subtle thing of who will take care of me, will I get something, I'm not sure if I will be successful, very subtly. We are not ready, some are ready, some take long time. So that's one thing we all have to look into that. And it's so interesting that when you become free from attachment, how much Baba takes care of you. I have so many beautiful experience since spiritual childhood. I had first some body surgery. So one brother came from Madhuban. Those days the train used to take 24 hours. And he brought few oranges and said Brahma Baba has sent that when she is up and start drinking, first give her this juice of oranges. Can you imagine from Mount Abu? He brought oranges for me. And I immediately had tears in my eyes. Then there was Adi Gulzar's mother. She was in Delhi. So she came to see me before surgery. She's a little bag in her hand. These days we carry big bags, and she had some money in that. And she said, Baba said, your surgery will be paid through this money. So I was looking at Baba. So if I would have thought, even I was in my Lokik still, and of course they would have done it, but Baba didn't wanted their money to be spent on my body. Baba wanted Baba Yagya money to be spent on my body. And I realized that as much you surrender, how God takes care of you for everything, then first center, then anything. I had shared that Baba didn't wanted us to eat food from even Baba's box, and if the center is new, because they're not Brahmins yet who are putting there. So Baba sent money for the food. So how Baba takes care of us at every step. But I have to be free from attachment, that definitely. And have 100% faith in Baba. 100% faith, right? Anyway, that's one subject, but the value of a person is based on virtues. The beauty of the person is based on virtues. And all the service which happens without speaking is through virtues. In the beginning, I used to travel alone, went to Delhi, and we couldn't get luggage. There was some problem. So I just saw some chairs around, and I went and sat very quietly there. So I think 2-3 Air India officers, they were also trying to help passengers. They came to me, how come you sitting so peacefully? So I said, by making noise, will luggage come faster? So, but they loved it so much. They said, if all passengers do that, we can work better. But they were jumping, they were shouting, they were. So it's just the virtue, right? Many, many times, even some officials from UN, we were traveling and they noticed certain things. When I came back, this lady said, she was the chief, can you talk to our other NGOs? Can you advise them? And I notice certain things that when you all decide, you have patience. When you all decide, there is trust. So virtues in action also does lot of high level service. So service, as I said, is not speaking, but it's through virtues. Because that's like real practical. Virtues in action are real, right? Knowledge can be theoretical. But when there are, so everything like knowledge, yoga has to be converted into power, virtues. That's why they say knowledge is light, might, and virtue. You have a lot of knowledge of electricity, and when there is blackout, you can't do anything. You are supposed to connect it, right? Bring the light from darkness. That means you know. So virtues are like helping people to, when they are hopeless, you bring hope, not by just saying it, but by your practical example. So all of us, one of the important, whether you call it principle, Maryada, subject, whatever it is about the virtues. Lot things can be accomplished. Beautiful relationships can be created. And it is through virtues. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, everyone. By the time Mohini Didi comes, let's take a moment and give Sakash to all the souls. Today is 9/11. It's the 21st anniversary of 9/11. And so let's give Sakash to everyone who got affected by it, who lost their lives, their loved ones, everyone.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. I was very touched by the stories you shared about Sakar Baba, the orange, and the paying for your surgery bill. I have a question. When you were telling me, how many times do you think, I'm sure Baba had a sense of what you would be doing for the yajna, right? When he saw you, he must have seen your future, don't you think?
It feels like that now.
It feels like that. Did you feel whenever he said, like, he must have done so many things like this, right? Like sending oranges or paying for the surgery. Did you feel at those times, why is Baba doing this? Did you have any sense of what your future is going to be?
No, I don't think I thought that way. But it's like adopting. He adopted me as a child, and it's like you feel real father, like any father would do it as a, to daughter. And so this whole sense of belonging. See, it is always, no, we say we have to take first step and then Baba takes another step.
Right.
So first step is that you start just seeing Baba as one support and one strength. And I don't know, from very beginning, I always felt no one can help me. No one can give you power. No one can give you support. And all that is karmic accounts and attachments. And so I always had in my mind that he's my support, he's my strength. So somewhere you come out of, whatever dependencies or attachments you have, you take one step and Baba will come forward. So now many will say, but we don't get all that. I didn't get anything. There might be many who might think that way. And it's not.
It must be very subtle though, Didi, right?
Yeah, it's very.
Whatever we receive is very subtle.
Yeah, it's coming from what you give, no, in the sense of either follow Baba or just depend on Baba. He will do it. And I I just feel so, uh, everyone should have that faith. Why people are sitting with attachment, thinking who will take care of me? If I get sick, I will need my son, I will need this one. Dadis didn't think, we didn't think. We just said life is for Baba. Both
Right.
ways, in Lokik, like, in our family, there was a principle that all girls should be very educated. So they don't have to depend financially on someone because of one or two experience. And so I had to study, even after becoming Baba's child for 6, 7 years. But then Brahma Baba also wanted me to study. He said there were 8, 10 Kanyas in Punjab. All of them did to some A level, O level, whatever. And then they didn't study. Why we study if I have to be a BK, right? So for me, both grandparents, Brahma Baba and Lokik, they wanted me to continue study, but also it was an excuse for me to come out of home, because
Right.
anyway, I have to go to college, I go to morning class, then go to college. I have to go out, do something, let me do service. So it was an excuse in a way to come out of the pressure of getting married, because that's the biggest thing when
Right.
you are 16, 17 in India. That's the age parents like to get married. So if parents like my mother won't say anything, then uncles and everyone, oh, you all don't have enough money, we can arrange marriage. We can give dowry. It's like whole society wants you to get married. Whole society is not just. So this was something, okay, let me study. When I finish, we will think about it. Yeah, so I did finish my graduation. Then I did short courses 1 year. And it was Baba who was saying, I want a journalist daughter. I want a newspaper. I want a magistrate daughter. Baba wanted some of the surrender, or I hadn't surrendered, but became to be in the society and kind of wherever necessary. So I did 1 year journalism. Then I went few months for law, but I couldn't, because after knowledge, you really can't study. Nothing stays with you. Few
Right.
things stayed until now, like I know a lot about constitutions and a lot of PR, and because these were my subjects at that time, and they were needed, because when there is a press conference, Jagdish Bhai will always put me in front and say, you answer, because of some general knowledge increases and you have ability to know
Right.
what is happening in the world or how to answer people's question. So whenever there was any inquiry, anything, Jagdish Bhai will say, we're sending people to you. So I think some abilities do develop through education. But what I'm saying that I did it because both the fathers, both grandfathers, it was Brahma Baba who gave all the directions. And like sometimes Baba said, why are you studying? Is it you going to get job? Because there are some, they studied and now the pressure is, because I have studied so much, I must take job. Right?
Right.
So it's a kind of obligation somewhere. Uh,
Right.
Sometimes parents say, sometimes, oh, I spent so much time. But for us, there was whatever I have is for Yagya Seva. So
Right.
when I came to you and Didi when you say, now I know why Baba wanted you to study, because you have to know, to be at UN, you have to respond. And so I had some background which helped me a lot. So from very beginning, if there is this whole thing of that, whatever I have is for Baba. And then for Baba, we are everything, in the sense of, I can't imagine how much I had been taken care of. Must be for everyone. But at every step, even when Baba became awake, then it was Mama. Mama became awake before, but then was Didi Manmohini. And then she told Dadi Janki what type of soul I am and how to take care of me. So what I'm saying that until now, it's like now is big family, right?
Right.
Everyone has so much love, whether in foreign countries or when I go to India. Imagine, if you have your 2, 3 family members, and here you have 20,000, everyone wants to, you know, I was sharing in India, as soon as you move out from your door, you go out, there is a very big box of grapes. After 5 minutes, there's a big box of apples. Then you move a few boxes of. So we didn't know. First time I stayed for a month and Bhumi and they said, so of course we keep distributing, but it's such unlimited family, right? But if we are
That's
in the limited,
sweet love. Yes.
unlimited covers limited, but not limited will cover. That helped me a lot to come out of limited. That there is unlimited family, right?
Right.
So yes, Baba knew exactly, I think, that one day we will take care of Yagya. So, but that sustenance, also didn't come without our own personal
Mhm.
commitment or love.
Right. Right. One of the thing I want to mention to everyone listening is how unusual it is for your Lokik grandparents to insist on you studying. That is so revolutionary because at that time, I'm sure everyone was, possibly not even passing 10th. Like,
Yeah, not going to university, up to school and get married and it's family. But
right.
I went on, and for 7 years after Baba's knowledge, I still went to different universities and did study. And of course, there was no aim
Mm,
because in India they don't depend on money of family. Doesn't
right.
depend on your money. Rather, they give you money. Mostly we get. So, but also same time there was a sister Nalini. She was is in Bombay until now. Some of you know Baba had
Yes,
created
her Murli comes on YouTube.
no Dharna points, right? Only Dharna points she read. So, but also there is a used to be a poster with see no evil, hear no evil. And Baba says it's not monkeys. So Baba put Nalini's picture. So that was our first poster. And her father, wanted to give dowry and gave a flat in Bombay to
Mhm.
open the center. So
Wow.
same happened with us. Whatever our parents said to give, we said give. You know, I didn't get center open, but yeah, it's for Yagya Seva. So a
Right.
lot of people expect a lot from Yagya, right? Oh, I,
Right.
I have to, I was not taken care of here. But I feel, but also first I have to see, am I sowing the seed in Yagya or I only want to take it? So always somewhere there are a lot of people who have not very content. And one of the reason is they're not doing things the way it should be.
Like
Otherwise,
stuck energy.
yeah,
Like because they're not doing you, there's like stuck, something stuck.
same attachments or somewhere.
Right.
Otherwise, it's not like that. You are really taken care of in every way.
Right. Didi, it's something you said yesterday, which I feel is connected to divinity. You said that Brahma Baba, when you went to Madhavan first time, or whenever you went to Madhavan, I don't remember if you said what time, but that he said to be careful of the company you keep.
Mhm.
I've been noticing something that even Brahmin companies sometimes, like you were sharing now, can be so very subtly pull you down. Because if I'm going through some Maya, then I'll get a few people and make them go through that my same Maya. And is there a connection, you think, with the company I keep to the divinity I inculcate?
See, souls will try to involve you in their personal, internal lack of contentment, or so they tell you stories, that the company, it could be a very pakka Brahmin, but maybe didn't had whatever was the expectations. You know, he couldn't be like Vishwaratan Dada or whatever. And but she was okay, but not him. But he will tell me every day different stories, and I will say, but that's your story. Why are you telling me? But you know, like older people, they want some support, so I will listen to him. But I immediately know what Baba meant by company, that people can sit and tell you and discourage you. Don't move too fast. Take your time. If there could be these difficulties, but they were for you, right? But
Right.
I didn't take a single word of what he would say, even if he was my relative or
Right.
he was surrendered for so many years. You know, so there are certain who are not pakka, so they sit and they share their stories. So it's not a good company, no.
Right.
If I start listening to that, I won't have strong. I won't be strong. I will be always thinking about, oh, this could happen to me. If I go to center, I will get good food or not. You know, a lot of suspicions can come, a lot of doubts can arise. So I'm just giving you example that that's where I understood what Baba meant. That there will be many who will come forward and would like to share. Oh, I want to share with you, because they want to feel lighter by talking to someone. But it's not me. Right?
I've noticed, Mohini Didi, it's not just, I've noticed even with Paka Brahmins, it's not just that they are sharing anything like negative, but also they influence a lot. They influence other people a lot. And it's not the best influence. And I've noticed that. And I was thinking that when you said that, you know, even with Brahmins, we have to be so careful, because what is my influence going on? That it's not necessarily they're telling you long, you know, bad stories or gossiping, but they can influence you saying, oh, you shouldn't do this or this, like you were saying, right? You know, don't surrender, don't do this or whatever. One last question, Didi. You were saying that the value of a person. I feel we need to talk a little bit more about divinity, maybe tomorrow again. You were talking about the value of a person and how much it is based on virtues. Do you feel like when you were in the yagya, there were all of these tadis and everyone, and they didn't have that much, like, you know, monetarily, but they had so many virtues. Do you feel like when you see them, is that what you felt? That, you know, they're so valuable because of their virtues?
First impression I had when I saw many came to my Lokek, many, all that is almost came at some point or not. But I felt their divinity very clearly, like my attraction to them was their divinity. And how simple they were, honest. Even I didn't know. But more I came to know that, but the divinity was so visible on their personality. And that was my main attraction. And it's not that I decided to be this, what I am, surrender life looking at them, but there was definitely that attraction, and that was divinity. And of, you know, their 14 years of tapasya, we didn't know much what it is, but it was so visible, you know, their faces, their whole personality. The presence was something very divine. Yeah, we will talk more some other day.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Oh,
Om
thank
Shanti.
you. Om Shanti.
Safe from attachment or subservience. Maryada Purshottam is one who keeps himself safe from attachment and subservience to other people and possessions. If you have attachment or are subservient, then instead of being loving to the Father, instead of being an easy yogi, you will have both experiences of sometimes being cooperative and an easy yogi, and sometimes being separated from yoga. Om Shanti.
Maryada Purshottam, safe from attachment or subservience. Maryada Purshottam is one who keeps himself safe from attachment and subservience to other people and possessions. If you have attachment or are subservient, then instead of being loving to the Father, instead of being an easy yogi, you will have both experiences of sometimes being cooperative and an easy yogi, and sometimes being separated from yoga. मर्यादा पुरुषोत्तम, लगाव झुकाव से सेफ। मर्यादा पुरुषोत्तम उसे कहा जाता जो किसी भी व्यक्ति और वैभव के लगाव और झुकाव से अपने आप को सेफ रखता है। अगर किसी के लगाव झुकाव में आए तो बाप के स्नेही बनने के बजाय, सहज योगी बनने के बजाय, कभी सहयोगी, कभी सहज योगी, कभी वियोगी, दोनों अनुभव करते रहेंगे। कभी याद, कभी फरियाद, ऐसी अनुभूति में रहेंगे तो कंप्लेन कभी पूरी नहीं होंगी। ओम शांति। Om Shanti Vyakti Parivar. Each day it's very interesting topic, right? And Maryada. We know Maryadas, but now it's really going into the depth of them. So it's good to know. Thank you, Didi, and thank you, Shirin Ben. So everyone, let's fly to Madhuban, and just to remember that we have special days coming up. On Wednesday, 14th of September, we'll have Brother Charlie with us. And September, Sunday, 25th, Jayanti Didi will be with us. So save the date. And we will announce the full schedule for that day, because that will be a little bit different than usual. So that more details will come soon. So now let's fly to Madhuban. Welcome to Avekti Journey, Shantivan, where lives become as valuable as diamonds. Welcome, angels. We are waiting.
जो भी आए हैं वो मधुबन के श्रृंगार।
कितना सलोना प्यारा घर अपना, पावन पावन आबू अब्बा का वतन, पावन पावन आबू अब्बा का वतन। ऊंचे शिखर से ज्ञान बरसे, भिगो रहा है ये धरती गगन।
Right. आप लोग भी आ सकते इस शांति वन में जो हमारे देश विदेश के बहुत सहयोग से, मेहनत से, दिल जान से जो आज इतना बड़ा विशाल सोलार लगाया है, जो देख हमें बार बार दिल में आता, क्या ये विज्ञान की शक्ति है? कहा जाता एक है साइंस की शक्ति, दूसरी है साइलेंस की शक्ति। इन दोनों शक्तियों के आधार पर ही ऐसी सुंदर चीज मिलती है।
पर अगर आपका अच्छा लगा ना, अच्छा लगा कर अपना, तो अभी भी आते रहना। तुमको सुन कम सुन, बहुत अच्छा।
Om Shanti. So wonderful, right? Amazing. Of course, there are much more details about solar, and we'll try to cover and we'll show you more tomorrow also. And we have had organic milk, organic vegetables, and now we have organic electricity, right? So we have our own source there. It's Baba's wonder. Thank you so much. Now let's remember Baba and take Drishti from Didi. And we'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll have our same schedule from Amritwela till night. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Good night. Om Shanti.